What's up, everybody? We're back with another edition of Each One Teach One, and don't stop there. My name is Isan. I'm representing the organization Ulon, which stands for United Legion One Nation, citywide. We're out here, making sure that everybody gets a fair share of what they have coming. Basically, we're in the streets. We help people get jobs. We help people get some type of residing facilities if they need to lay their head down, if they need to, make sure that they know how to do job applications, whatever it is. Ulon is out here. You can reach us at 312-834-8020, which is not the number you see at the bottom. Now, if you guys want to call in tonight, we're having a good topic. It's brotherly love, something that we usually talk about, from time to time. Last week we had some sister energy. This week we have my very own, my guy, Phil in the house. This is one of Chicago's activists who I call the move around guy. Man, I could turn on Facebook or something. I see Phil all the way up north in Evanston. Next thing I know, he's all the way in the Wild Wild Hundreds. So he's M-O-G, the move around guy, you know what I'm saying? Or M-A-G, move around guy, Mag, you know what I'm saying? So that's the power player right there. Phil, how you feeling today, brother?
I'm blessed. How about yourself?
All right, good. Thank you for joining us tonight. So again, call on in. Today's topic is brotherly love. We're going to get right down to it. So, Phil, we've been doing this for a long time. Phil's from the Cabrini Green area as well as the whole north side. He's been around doing this thing for a minute. So, Phil, tell us a little bit about yourself. You know what I'm saying? What got you into the movement?
Well, I've been involved in the movement since I was a kid, probably about the age of 9. I started with one of the sisters, Marion Stamps. Took me to my first rally back for public housing.
R.I.P. Mary.
And stuff like that.
Right.
And I remember getting off the bus, marching and protesting and putting power to the people,
Okay.
and we put boots on the streets way back then. And as I got older, I started to see the things that was the value of why we need to go out and do those type of things, not only watching the footage of King and Malcolm as a child, growing up, and then as I got older, I seen, what the brothers such as the Black Panthers, what they stood for and all this stuff.
Right.
And I love what they was doing, and so that intrigued me to start paying more attention to the community which I lived in. And so as I got older, I started participating in a lot of the things from different parts of the neighborhood, which was divided. And I would go through different parts of it, which I had no problem because people knew me already.
Right.
So I would, go by there.
Kind of like Bucky. You know who Bucky is? For y'all that don't know, Bucky is Jesse White. Yes.
Yeah.
Back in the day, the Italians used to call him Bucky. They had a nickname for our Secretary of State, Jesse White.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he told me all about it,
Okay.
during a nice interview. And Bucky, of course, is from Cabrini,
Right.
in the
That was
land.
my gym teacher.
Right, man. He goes way back with us at Jesse White Tumblers, for those who may not know. And he's just one of the, I guess, persons you could say is a success story that came from nothing to get up to the position that he has.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, and
agree.
there's different controversies on it, but I want you to know that he is doing what he had to do.
Yes.
As far as making it and trying to stay successful.
Right.
And he's done a good job.
He did.
So,
Well, good
long live Bucky. Proud of you, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, Mr.
Come on,
White.
kick it with it.
And so, therefore, it led me to start to take a look at how the neighborhood was so divided and what part can I play and what role can I play to bridge that gap between that. So I would start hanging out with different guys and bringing them on my side, and I bring other guys on the other side, which they'll get to know each other. 9 times out of 10, to come to find out we was already family members through some type of bloodline from a relative of colors, or whether your auntie had a baby by my uncle or whatever.
Right.
But we were so divided, we didn't want to come on that set because the divided. With the opposition of the gangs in the territory, how they started marking them. But yet still, I went out there and reached out to these brothers, and we would go skating, we go to parties, fashion shows. I go to the boys club, the YMCA.
Now, for those that don't know, this move around guy still skates. He still goes to stepping, parties. I look up and I see him over here doing stepping. Then about 20 minutes later, he's way up north, with a rally. Then he might be way on the west side, doing some type of march. So, Phil, what keeps you going? Like, what's your drive? What's your secret, man?
My drive is just being able to relate on any level with the people that I have been around all my life when they going dealing with the struggle, whether it's the homeless or someone who's needing some shelter or food or whatever. And I do my best to try to reach out to them, you know, and that drives me, because when I see it, I know I have been in positions where I didn't have the things that I should have. And I know how that feel. So when I see the brothers out there or the sisters out there, you know, I try to assist them whatever I can. If it's just giving them $2, something to eat or whatever, I do what I can with what little that I do have to help them through the day or
Right.
whatever. I might just be what they needed, you know what I'm saying, at that moment. You know, like I said, I might see them at McDonald's. You want something to eat? And they be like, wow, man, you
Right.
came right on time, because I
Right.
ain't see how. I've been out here for about 2 hours. Ain't nobody offered me a sandwich.
None but the maker.
You know, so.
Well, let's get right down to it. So,
Okay.
again, today's topic is brotherly love, okay? Which we need a lot more of.
Yes.
So, I applaud you guys. I want you guys to keep calling in. We're going to start taking callers in a minute. You see the number right there, 312-738-1060, all right? 312-738-1060. Before we start our show, you got any shout-outs? You know, people you want to, you know what I'm saying, shout out
Shout
there,
out
good
to
thing?
the brothers standing together.
Okay.
I love y'all. Y'all know I'm in the house. I'm always representing no matter what, where
That's
I'm
what's
going.
up.
I'd like to give a shout out to all the other community activists throughout the city who has put forth effort to, you know, be a part of the drive to guide some of these young youth and helping out throughout the community. And I love you for your services that you put out there.
That's what's up. My shouts out go to my Seashell crew, my boy Mo, you know what I'm saying, my girl Jackie, you know what I'm saying, Crazy Self, my boy Big G, Dion, KC, my boys in the back, Sean Isle, my boy Fred, you know what I'm saying, Zuzu, you know, we got a bunch of people that work for us, my boy Tone Capone, you know what I'm saying, I mean, the list goes off. I forgot you, because we on the move right now. Oh, of course, T-Sing, you know what I'm saying, I gotta say T-Sing, you know what I'm saying, right. Okay, but look, I want to get into why right now these streets are so messed up. So, talking about brotherly love, and I want you guys to call in. Men, call in. I challenge you to call in with these topics and what you could consider some type of resolution. Men, right now.
Okay.
Why are the young guys not looking up to the older brothers? What do you think is going on with these streets right now that we can't get no love?
Well, for me personally, I think it's the lack of men that hasn't took the time to share with the younger brothers that they should have done years ago. And the older generation, such as myself and you, are what should have been the stepping stones to follow up on where it was left off, that should have been passed down to us, that we can share with these young brothers, in the cycle of not repeating the breakdown of the structure would have been avoided if we had mans to step up into these young guys' lives. You know, when we was growing up, they made us go to school. If they
Right.
seen us out, we couldn't
Structure,
hang out, we
right,
couldn't talk crazy or be disrespectful, you know what I'm saying? And everything was within the guidelines that we had to work out of the protocols of whatever it is on the streets or in the neighborhood.
That's right.
All of that has been dismantled.
Right.
You know, so therefore these young kids is out here renegading, out there not knowing what
Let them know
direction
what
to go.
renegading means. What is renegading?
Renegading is when you decide, whoever, to go against the protocols or whatever it is that the guidelines was set as a standard for all, and you decide to say, whatever.
I'ma do me, huh?
I'm gonna do me.
Okay.
What the guidelines was, disregard all that.
Right.
I'm doing me. If they don't like it, oh well, you know, come at me. Get
Okay.
with me. You know
So
what I'm saying?
for black and brown and supportive whites that are out there right now, struggling whites that you know, all races that really are trying to be a part of the solution, what do you recommend? For men, and when I say men, I'm saying 21 and older. Let's go by the guidelines again. You know, if you're 21, you're old enough to drink and do whatever, you know what I'm saying, by the court of law. So by men, 21 and older, even though those are still babies, but let's just include them.
Right.
So men, what should men be able to do right now in the streets of Chicago that would help the so-called struggle?
Actually, to be able to go out there and reach out there to these young men, give
How?
them,
What can they do? Be specific. Let's get it.
take them up under their wings, be a mentor to them, share positive information about lifestyles and the meaning of value of lives and how important it is to love oneself. You know, that's what we lacking in brotherly love. It's the love of oneself. So how could you love somebody when you don't even love
Got your own
yourself?
self together.
And
Okay.
once you can be able to filter that in and start to develop some type of concept of love and what it means, and not just mean it has different meanings, but to understand it and actually act out on love, then we can move forward with getting these brothers to understand that it's not basically negative things that drive us. We fell into that negative thing. If we knew about the love that one shared with one another, if I came to you and I said, I love you, that would give you something to take a look at. But if I never gave you a hug and never showed you no type of love, you looking at me like, why is you in my face? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not
Right.
used to that. That's not
Right.
something I've been taught or was able to adjust to because it never was me as a child, someone embracing me
Exactly.
or telling me you can do better or
Right.
being a better person or how to be a better person.
Okay.
You know, and so that's where it has been taken away. Because if you look at from the 60s and 50s or whatever, they showed love.
Right.
That's why so many people united.
Right. And
See,
came
now,
together. Okay.
when you
Okay.
look at the concept of the record, the rap record that came out, headed for self-destruction, every time I think about the things that's going on, I say they played that, they did
Cool.
that. It was so
And if you notice,
hidden.
that was almost, you know what I'm saying, some of the background for the new video I came out with. You know what I'm saying?
I
Okay.
took
Well,
it.
you know what? Hold on. Phil,
Go
we
ahead.
got to take some of these calls at least because
Okay,
everybody's
come
been
on
getting
with it.
strained. So we're going to the airlines right now. Caller, you are on the air with Each One Teach One. And don't stop there. Caller, you there? You know what? You got to turn that up so we can hear this caller. I can hear the caller, but you got to turn it up a little bit on our end, a little bit. Hold on, caller. I want you to keep saying what you're saying one more time, caller, because we can't hear you in here. You know what I'm saying? There you go. Go ahead and repeat that real quick, caller.
Hello?
Okay, it's coming a little bit. So yeah, say it again.
Yeah. Yes, sir. This is your friend.
There you go. Okay, there go my boy. Go ahead.
All right. The first thing the young men or boys, whatever you want to call them, is to watch the show.
Right.
We have great guests every week. And
Yes. Thank you so much, caller.
But the thing is, listen, when I was growing, I'm 69 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Vietnam vet.
Right.
I did everything my parents told me to do. Sometimes it was wrong, but they were my parents, my aunts and uncles, my grandma, grandpa. They would say, "Hey, do this, no problem." Yes, there was no for us when we were growing up. So now, kids, all they want to do, go to school. If they go to school, jump on the couch, get on that Xbox,
Right.
and play that till they eat a sandwich or something, then they jump right back. And if they get their homework, fine. If they don't do their homework, that's fine. That's where the parents come in. Listen, you could play with that Xbox, but you're going to do your homework, you're going to eat, you're going to, then you could, just an hour or two, not all day.
Right.
So,
Well, caller, you know what? You definitely on point. We're going to jump to this next caller real quick. Hey, I appreciate it. We're going to touch that subject real quick. That's one of my best callers right there.
Oh,
He's
okay.
religious to the show, and I love you for that. As Ulon.Life. Matter of fact, okay, you know what? This is what we're going to do. We're going to hold off. Keep calling in because you guys are screening your calls. You know what I'm saying? You know what? I would like to take another caller real quick. But before that, let me just say this. Let me touch base. He's right. It's up to the parents basically to step back in there. This is kind of going back to what we're talking about the men.
Right.
So I guess the man has to come back to the house unit in order for the kid to listen. Because guess what happens? The mom is gone because now the father's not there, right?
Right, yes.
So the mom has to work.
Yes.
So with no parent structure being there,
Yes.
what do? Hit the streets.
Exactly.
Okay, we're going to the next caller real quick because I'm flooded. Caller, you are on live right now with Each One Teach One. Let's get it.
Ray again, I got cut off somehow. But you know what?
Oh, must be my boy Becky. Okay, go ahead.
That didn't go when I was a young kid. You did what you were told,
Right.
right or wrong.
Okay.
Today, they want to get on that Xbox. They want to go out and make babies and don't take care of them. The first thing they should do is watch your show, because you put it down to them.
Mm-hmm.
Gentleman next to you, I wish I had someone like him when I was growing up.
I appreciate you.
You know, but great show, comes from the heart. That's why I know you're telling the truth. Thanks again.
Hey, thank you.
All right.
Okay, we're gonna keep it going, man. That's our one of the best callers that calls in all the time, man. That's my boy. And we're gonna actually meet him pretty soon.
Okay.
I'm gonna make sure, you know what I'm saying, we set up something where we can get together with all our callers. 'Cause we have so many religious callers that call in. Let me say this real quick.
Okay.
I think the breakdown of the 80s when drugs was accessed into the hood, because remember at one point drugs were a rich man's high, a poor man's dream.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
So when they dropped the price and made it accessible for the hood,
Right.
it broke down the family structure.
Yes.
Because now you got the pops, the dad, going out getting drugs, you know what I'm saying, in the ghetto. And of course, the moms solely getting it because the pops turned the mom on, not knowing that it would be sacrificed later. Because remember, there weren't words yet like hype and crackhead
Right,
and
right,
you know all this
exactly,
type of stuff. It was a new thing.
Right.
So it was under player mode because remember, what was the movie that started off off? Superfly.
Superfly.
So when Superfly came out, everyone thought, oh man, I'm gonna be the next drug down, cool. I
Right.
can do this, I can do my
Right,
stuff
right.
and do all this. And so they didn't know the power of the enemy. And when I say the enemy, I'm talking spiritual.
Right.
Because, you know, let's keep it real. Drugs are a form of one of the most evil entities ever.
Yes.
Because you'll sell your
Yes.
soul.
I
You'll
know.
sell your mama whole
I
check
know.
for
Yes,
drugs.
yes, yes.
So once that happened, it broke down the structure.
Yes, it did.
So if you don't have a mother there anymore, the father,
Right.
and they're out chasing Jason, as we call it, and my friend is selling drugs to my parents,
Right.
I don't care about selling drugs to your parents.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Not saying it's wrong or right, y'all. Just saying facts here.
Okay.
So now the kids are out because why? Because they need those new Jordans.
Right.
They need the shoes.
Right.
They need money.
And
Why? Because they're not getting an allowance.
Exactly.
See, that's the other thing where other
The
kids are
breakdown.
privileged because they have allowances. They have something to fall on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we're just keeping it going. Listen up. We're getting back to these these airlines, these airways. You know,
Right.
Caller, you are on the air. Will you each one teach one? Let's get it.
Yes, I wanted to make a couple of points, if I might.
Sure.
One, there are a great many people out there who have children out of wedlock, and it has, quite frankly, nothing to do with drugs.
True.
They simply fail to fulfill their responsibilities as parents.
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't involve the use of drugs, and that's a completely separate issue. Secondly, we do need to distinguish between different kinds of drugs. There are plenty of absolutely wonderful parents and
That's
functional
Barack calling. You know it sounds like Barack.
who have a glass of wine or two a night, who
Uh-huh.
perhaps even a little bit of marijuana every now and then. We
Right.
must be careful not to lump everything together. Marijuana is not methamphetamine, and a glass of wine is not heroin.
True.
We need to distinguish these things. You are perfectly capable of perhaps having a little bit of marijuana on the weekend, as states where it's legal have proven. And you can still be a perfectly functional member of society,
Yes.
a good parent, and a wonderful. And you can, and the same thing with regard to alcohol. So we need to be careful about, sort of lumping everything together, because again, not all drugs are the same, and not all people react.
That's true.
And
Good
some
point.
of the things destroying communities have absolutely nothing to do with drugs, because nobody who's in it is.
Okay. Well, you know what, caller? I really appreciate you calling in. He really made some good points.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the biggest thing is that I think his differentiative of hardcore drugs
Right.
to something that could be illegal in some states, and of course wine,
Yes.
illegal, is legal, very legal, is that it's saying that it's not what you do, but how you do it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure there could be people that drink wine. Look at
Yeah.
college kids.
Yeah.
College kids party. They know they got the test, the exam coming up tomorrow.
Right.
They still get up those that are responsible
Right.
and ace those tests.
And that's
You
right.
know,
I
because
know,
they didn't
yeah.
overdo it, because
Right.
their parents taught them well, or maybe they did it on their own. But I do agree. I think that we have to stop bunching up all the different categories of drugs as into one thing.
Right.
Now, I will say this. There's 3 drugs that I feel that are our biggest enemies. Number 1 is heroin, or heroin as we call it. which is called horse, which is any type of opiate, which is, you know, a lot of times these kids are going through their parents, you know, medicine cabinets,
Right.
and they get all kind of Vicodins and you know, this, anything that's a downer.
Right.
Major, major, major big thing right now. And as you hear it on the news, it's taking a lot of kids out of, you know,
Yes.
their comfort zone and put them into a whole new world where they become dependent.
Right.
Once you become dependent on any type of drug, it takes you from who you really were.
Exactly.
It takes you out of your whole focus. It takes you out of your being as where people know you.
Right.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
become
Number
dysfunctional.
2, cocaine. Let's keep it real, y'all. But cocaine starts off as a tooting thing. They snort it, and it becomes quick to smoking because you don't have enough, and then of course popping.
Right.
I know a lot of young kids now are popping. They're
Yes.
shooting it. That's another
Right.
form of shooting, which is actually taking them out of their element.
Yes.
You know, becoming these kids that end up in rehab and, you know, something totally different because they can never get that first high.
Right.
We always hear
So
the
they
kids
chase
saying
it
about it.
again.
I never could get my first high, and I
Right.
chased it because there's nothing like that first high.
Right.
And number 3, and I think a really big thing that's starting to hit the scene now with these young kids is the ecstasy.
Right. This
Okay,
hitting, yeah,
it is,
yeah.
you know, this is called one hitters,
Right.
X pills, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Because, and let me say this, I know a lot of the kids that are taking this X are talking about these crackheads and all like that, but it's really, to be honest, the same thing.
Same
because
thing.
everything they're putting in it,
It
the
contains
amphetamines, the heroin,
all of it
it's so
contains.
much stuff
Right.
that it's like really you are really just, it's just a form of a pill.
Right, that's it.
So there's really no difference, you know. But I will say this, I need you guys to call if you need any type of help, counseling, big brothers, you know what I'm saying, anything is 312 834-8020. We're gonna give it to you in a raw. We're gonna follow you. We're gonna come kick it with you. We're gonna help you. We're gonna big brother you. We're gonna show you the love that we
Yes,
need.
yes.
Because we're men and we're out here. You know what I'm saying? Phil, you know what I'm saying? He's the move around guy. All right?
You can see me
MAG.
anywhere.
He'll come wherever you at and talk to you, meet
Yes.
with you. I'll do the same. Ulon, brothers standing together. I mean, we out here. This is what we do.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? All the time. Through the whole city. It's a go town, all right? Chicago, we're go-getters, right?
Yes,
You know what I'm
we
saying?
are.
Go-getters,
That's
baby.
what I'm talking about, the
Go-getters.
go.
This is what we do.
Yes.
The go. So, I need you guys to call 312-834-8020. Again, we'll come out to where you are. Women, if you're looking for shelter, call 312-834-8020. We have different complexes. We can put you in there, all right? Now, we're going to take maybe one more call. I know the calls are flooding up there, you know, going through all of them. But I want to say this. It's been a pleasure, man, to serve my city. You know, I'm like, you know what I'm saying, somebody who really gives up. You know what?
Okay.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because we don't get paid for this, do we? Phil?
No.
This is something we do from
Hey.
the heart. We travel the whole city. I deal with the gangs. I deal with the hardcore. I deal with the young, the old,
Yes.
people in the middle. Just today, I broke up a fight right on what was it, 80th and Ingleside. I pull over. I see a fight. And a lot of times, I wish I had a body cam like like the popos because I could get so much stuff that would go viral. I promise you. I see guys with guns. I have to jump out the car and break it up. And a lot of people wouldn't actually believe the stuff that we really go through.
Exactly.
And we don't have
Exactly.
bulletproof
Right.
vests.
Exactly.
I need to invest in one.
No.
Like
Okay.
real talk.
I need one.
But
Right.
834-8020, all right? Get it your boy. I'll come out where you are. 312-834-8020. Phil, come on in, man. So, since we're talking about some of the things men can do, this is a men's section today. I call brotherly love, all right? Ulon is kicking the heart about brotherly love. Phil, what can some of the guys do as of now, 2017, the guys that are still left out here, to show these young brothers some love? What can we do?
Well, for me, it starts at home. Just say, for instance, you have nephews. Those could be the ones you start affiliating yourself with and sharing with them what it is to be a man and how to go about doing things, getting an education, continue on getting job leads or whatever the case might be.
So basically, to talk.
They talk.
Good
we need
point,
to
man. Just to
talk.
talk, to express,
the
to communicate.
kids, the brothers, you, they uncle, whatever. Their
Or play
child.
uncle.
Play,
You can be
it
a
doesn't
play
matter.
uncle.
You can be the neighbor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? These kids, and I'm going to show you how it happened for me. The skills I picked up as a child, I was learning about this guy, one of my best friends. His father used to come to get us on the weekends and take us around and show us the tools of the trade, What is the hammer? What is the screwdriver? What is the Phillips? What is the flathead? What is the sawzall? Well, all these things I have no idea of. But once I learned to identify the names of these things, he also allowed us to do patchwork and put together hinges on a door, little things. And as that became something I was interested in. So as times come along, I was aware of what type of tools that I can use to prepare fix a bike, whether it's channel locks or whatever. And this
Good
all
stuff.
because this man took us on the weekend to
Right.
share with the things that we can use later on in life.
From what he knew.
From what he knew.
Okay.
And I took it and went farther. And so that's why I do the things that I do today. And I've never been to school for the trades that I have picked up over the years, but I'm capable of doing it. And I know these kids need this. Also, we need to get them involved into places, taking them to places like camp, somewhere outside of the city that they probably have never been, in the
Good
5-block
point.
ratings
Yes,
of their
yes.
own thing, and expose them to things that, hey, they might never get a chance to do unless we take the initiative steps to take them outside of their comfort zone and open them up to, exposing them to camps. Hey, at
Good
camp,
point.
you learn how to survival skills. You might even learn from me. I learned archery, kayaking, canoeing.
Good
It can
point.
go on and
Good
on
point.
with something they can use as a time, and then they'll take
Yes.
that as well and bring it back to the hood
Right.
and share with the people who didn't get a chance to go to
Even
camp.
to envision
and help
that.
them.
If they
Yeah.
tell the story.
Ooh,
You know what I'm saying?
It's love.
Quick story. So I used to cut grass, you know what
Okay.
I'm saying? And
I
I
do
remember
it.
as a man,
Right.
and I ain't talking about for a job, I'm talking about, different, spots people would, have me cut grass. So one of the blocks I went to cut grass to, there was a little boy 2 houses down.
Okay.
Probably about like 9, 10 years old, right? Little Greg. So little Greg would come, and watch me, So I would show him because my grandfather, Mr. Spencer, taught me how to cut grass.
Okay.
And I'm talking about, on the lawnmower that you sit down, the big lawnmower, right?
Right.
And how to drive it.
Okay.
So I taught this young boy, right? And at the end, I would always, all right, man, take care, man, I love you, man. And he going about his business, right?
Right.
So one day he came by, right? And I said, man, you want to get on, and drive
Drive,
around, and
right.
and so me thinking that was the love, he
Right.
he wants to drive,
Right,
right?
right.
He's like, no, I'm good. So I thought maybe he was sick or something. What's wrong, Greg?
Right.
You love driving. So at the end of the day, I had to sit down with him and I talked and I said, Greg, why didn't you want to drive today? He said, well, I really come because at the end of our conversation, you always say, I love you.
Wow.
And that almost
Wow.
knocked me off my chair, right?
Yes.
So the whole summer, he hadn't been coming to drive it,
He just
the
wanted to
lawnmower.
hear
He
that.
wanted to hear that I love you.
And that-
From a man's
Wow.
point of view to a son, a child that wasn't even mine. So I wanted to say, man, when you talk, speaking has power.
Yes.
And words mean something.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying, man? So grab a little young guy next to you, man, talk to him, and whenever you're done, man, you tell that brother,
Show
man, I love you,
some
man.
love.
Power in the air.
Show some love.
Greg.
Love
You know what I'm
you, my
saying? I
brother.
love you, man.
Love
Real
you
talk,
more,
Phil.
brother.
You know,
Yes, sir, like
and
you.
never be scared to say that because that's power and love. Real men that secure with themselves, they love their neighbors. They love their little brothers on the block. They love whatever. So I want to tell y'all guys, man, each one teach one.
Each one teach
and
one.
Don't stop there. And we love y'all, man, and we'll holler soon, all right?
Much
Don't
love.
forget, man, 312-834-8020, all right? Holler. 1.
Peace.